Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
We're talking fats, fatty hormones, fatty vitamins, essential fats, or as most of us call them, essential fatty acids, omega-3s and omega-6s particularly. These are two special fats that are required by the body, just like air is required by the body, just like water is required by the body, just like love is required by the emotional body, just like quality thoughts, quality ideas are required by the mental body. This is what it means to be essential. You gotta have it. Without air, you're dead. Without water, you're dead. Without love, you're dead. These are all essential substances. And in the world of nutrition, an essential nutrient is a substance that's just like air. Recently, there's been a lot of medical backlash, I guess you'd say, about omega-3 fatty acids. Now, ever since I've been studying nutrition, at least 30 years or so, omega-3s have been glorified by nutritional savvy pharmacists and nutritional savvy everybody, really, except for your doctor, perhaps. But those of us who understand nutrition have been really in awe of the stupendously valuable nature of omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s have a reputation for being one of the most important nutritional elements, most important nutritional supplements you could ever use. And for good reason. They are powerful nerve cell, brain cell, eye cell elements. They're components of nerve cells. They're part of the sheath, the covering on a nerve cell, on an eye cell, on a brain cell. They're part of the construction of cells. This is why they're essential. Check this out. You can't make a cell without them. They're a key component of these nerve cells. Can't make a nerve cell, an eye cell, or brain cell without these things. These omega-3s are a key component of the cell. But here's where it becomes so important. You get them from food and from supplements. Your body can't make it. Can you see how important this is? We cannot make nerve cells, brain cells, eye cells without omega-3 fats. What happens is under deficiency conditions, the body will stick any kind of fat it can find in those cells as a replacement. You don't think that's going to have an impact on health? Obviously it will. Without ingesting these substances via supplements or food, you can't make the cells, and that makes them critical. Yet, recently, over the last year, or actually maybe the last 3 or 4 years, the mainstream medical model has been attempting to do a hatchet job on how important these things are. Almost every few months, you get a study that says omega-3s fail to help for cardiovascular issues. Omega-3s fail to help with cognitive function. Omega-3s fail. Omega-3s don't work. This is the drumbeat coming at us from the medical model, completely ignorant of the fact that you can't make a brain cell without these things. You think that's important? Well, it's important from a common sense perspective, but maybe not from your doctor perspective. There was a hit piece on omega-3s on Frontline last, I think about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. Frontline is this PBS show that supposedly exposes scams and scandals in the news. Anyway, they did this piece on omega-3s. It was actually a hit piece on nutritional supplementation in general, but they focused on omega-3 saying there's no evidence to warrant omega-3 supplementation, and the average person gets enough in his diet. This is what the mainstream pharmacomedical model wants us to believe, that we get these things from our diet. Wrong. You can't get them from your diet. It's almost impossible unless you're eating seeds, a lot of them, and grinding them up. Of course, then you have to deal with the anti-nutrients that are in seeds. Fish are also a good source, but to the degree you cook your fish, to the degree your fish is processed, you're going to get less and less omega-3s. Not to mention you'll have to interact with all the toxicity that's in fish and seafood these days. Bottom line is you're not going to get the stuff from food no matter what you hear from your doctor or Frontline. And it's not fair. To say this is just wrong. This is from JAMA, from the Association for Research in Vision and Ophthalmology 2013 annual meeting. Omega-3s fail to halt macular degeneration. This doctor named Dr. Chu apparently tested not just omega-3s, but omega-3s and beta-carotene and vitamin E, in addition, and vitamin C. And what Dr. Chu determined was that omega-3 fatty acids did not work They found no significant difference in the rates of macular degeneration. So, of course, now people think they're useless. Here's another one. Omega-3 supplements fail to help the heart, study finds. This one is from, this is research from JAMA Internal Medicine, Journal of the American Medical Association. Taking supplements of omega-3 does not seem to reduce a person's risk of heart disease. Another one, omega-3 supplements fail to show effect against cognitive decline. This is so unfair, you guys. This medical model that focuses on whether something fixes a disease to determine its value and importance does not serve us as human beings, because it's not about sickness, it's about health. This is the problem with the medical model, really. If you want to zoom into the real problem with the medical model, is it focuses on sickness and disease and mitigating or reducing the effects. It doesn't focus on health. Your doctor doesn't study health. He studies disease. And that's not just a semantical difference. That's not just a word difference. It's an entire worldview difference. Your doctor, and it's not him, it's not like he's a bad person. I know I say it all the time, but I want to reinforce this. This is not about the individual doctor. It's about the model. The doctor is just immersed in the model. He's swimming in it. He's swallowed up by it. The model focuses on illness, and it considers nutritional supplementation valuable only as far as they help with illness. But that's not how they work. We got to reframe this thing. Nutritional supplementation is about being alive. You can't be alive fully and functionally without these things. All right, I'm Pharmacist Benny.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs loves Beyond Tangy Tangerine, a complete nutritional supplement from Longevity. That's why he recommends it to everyone he meets and takes it himself every day.
Beyond Tangy Tangerine, my personal favorite longevity product, multivitamin mineral complex powder. You add it to water and drink. It's a great way to get yourself off the snack foods. It's a great way to demonstrate to folks who are non-believers in nutritional supplementation how effective a supplement program can be. It's great for kids. It tastes awesome. It's less than $50 a month, and it's truly a cornucopia of nutrition. Vitamins A, C, D, E, K, your B complex.
To get a nutritional supplement that's loaded with nutrients that even your kids will like, order Beyond Tangy Tangerine from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Greetings, Phenomenal Ones. This is Dr. Jeremiah C. Hackley of Phenomenal Center. I want to invite you to the Phenomenal Health and Healing Conference in the city of Knoxville, February the 7th and the 8th. We have coming Dr. Joel Wallach. He is a two-time Nobel Prize nominee, the Humanitarian Award winner for Natural Medicine, featured at the United Nations, and have 75 peer reviews published in health journals. Dr. Wallach has an answer for you. Call us right now. We only have 100 seats. 865-851-7269. Health is not a matter of chance, but it is a matter of choice. Call us right now. 865-851-7269.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
All right, we're talking omega-6 fats, particularly fats in general, and a couple weeks ago, Frontline ran a hit piece on how there's not enough evidence to warrant omega-3 supplementation. This idea that omega-3s, and it is in the news, if you Google it, you'll see all kinds of studies and articles that say omega-3s don't work. It's because we look at work, W-O-R-K, quote, I'm doing little air quotes here, work, as whether they somehow reverse the disease process. That's not how nutrition works. That's not the right question to ask when we're asking, does something work? It's not whether it heals disease, it's whether it's used by the body. The very nature of essentiality, the very nature of something being essential means you cannot live without it, and you will live less and less effectively as you have less and less. But doctors don't look at it that way. They look at the body as diseased, not as potentially healthy, but as diseased, as sick. And they're looking to mitigate or change the symptomology of disease, not to get the body healthy. So nutrients are not drugs. They don't work like that. You can't assess the value of omega-3 fats by whether they have a drug-like effect. That's not fair, and it's misleading. And it misleads us. You have to look at these things as essential nutrients that the body cannot live without, that are not present in the SAD, the SAD, the standard American diet, and I would venture to say the standard world diet. It's not just the Americans that eat crappy. The French eat crappy too, and the Italians and the Germans and the Israelis and the English and every other country in the world eats crappy because food companies own the planet. You know, the food companies and the drug companies, these are the same big multinational companies. Nestle, for example, Kraft, these huge food companies. They own the drug companies in many cases. It's all the same thing. It's the chemical industry, really. So whether or not a given nutrient cures a disease or mitigates the symptomology is irrelevant when it comes to determining how important a supplement is. And we don't want to fall for this kind of nonsense, this medical model BS, because we're going to be depriving ourselves of some very, very important and vital nutrients that are easily available through supplementation. And by the way, do you know there's a prescription drug that's an omega-3 fatty acid? Yes, it's called Loveza. Check this out. On the one hand, omega-3s don't work, right? They don't affect cardiovascular health. They don't help you with your brain, or they don't help you with your heart or whatever, your kidneys, your skin. They don't help you with anything. But on the other hand, GlaxoSmithKline, one of the biggest drug companies on the planet, has a drug that's nothing more than a tweaked out version, a manipulated version, a patented structure that is an omega-3 fatty acid, except it's got a little twist to it. And that allows GlaxoSmithKline in French not only to patent the drug, but to sell it to us for $500 a month. I'm not kidding you. It's called Loveza, L-O-V-A-Z-A. And Loveza is they call it an omega-3 ester, which means it's kind of tweaked a little bit. And this esterifying or tweaking of the omega-3 molecule allows GlaxoSmithKline to own it and patent it, and it's theirs, and they can sell it for $500, maybe if you get a discount at maybe $300 a month. Of course, most people will just pay a copay because insurance will cover it, but somebody's paying for that. So they don't work on the one hand, but they work so well they cost you $10 a day or up to $15 or even more dollars a day. Same stuff you get in your Ultimate EFAs, by the way. The same, better, because the stuff in your Ultimate EFAs is not tweaked. It's the real deal. This is a classic example of the pharmaco-medical model scam revealed in all its devious glory. The only way that we can be fooled here, by the way, is because we don't understand nutrition. We don't really understand what it's about. I was talking to somebody yesterday, or a couple days ago, and she was asking me about the Mighty 90 for her brother. She said her brother was on medication, had a beta blocker for his heart, and I forgot what the other, he was on an alpha blocker. Beta blocker that blocks the heart, and something called an alpha blocker for the prostate. Remember, blocker means poison. So anyway, he's on this poison beta blocker, and then he's on a poison alpha blocker for his prostate. And she wanted to know if the Mighty 90 would interfere with the drugs. And this is a question I get all the time. Will my nutrients interfere with my drugs? And the only reason we can even ask that question is because we don't understand nutrition, because we bought the medical model idea that nutrition is about nutritional supplementations are drugs. They're just over-the-counter versions. We bought this idea that the benefits of nutrients are medicinal benefits. So we think that maybe they'll interfere with our drugs. The only reason we can ask that question is because we don't understand what nutrition is. So, I've been doing this for 30 years, so sometimes I take for granted what people understand. So I try to think to myself, how can I explain this to this gal, nice gal, she wanted to help her brother out. How can I explain the nature of nutrition so that question wouldn't even make any sense, so you wouldn't even enter your mind to ask that question? And I'm going to tell you what I told her when we come back from our break, and then we'll get to your phone calls. I want to just tell a story real quick because I think it highlights the misunderstandings we have, or better, the non-understandings we have about how nutrition really works. So my friend calls me up. She wants to know if the Mighty 90 essential nutrients will interfere with her brother's medication. And it's a question I get all the time. Will these nutrients interfere with my drugs? Which, in my head, I'm thinking, how can we even ask that question? How can nutrients interfere with poisons in a negative way? They'll help the body handle the poison better. They'll make the poison more effective. They'll reduce the side effects of the poison. But for the most part, with some exceptions, there's a couple minor exceptions, but for the most part, it doesn't even make sense, the question, but it makes sense in light of the fact that we think of nutrients based on how our doctors talk to us as drugs. They're not. So anyway, I was trying to think, how can I explain this in a simple way? How can I explain what nutrition really is? So what I did was this is how I explained it to her. I said, you got two kinds of nutrition, first of all. You got macro nutrition and you got micro nutrition. Macro nutrition is calories, protein, fats, and sugar. Those are your calories. Something has calories, it's a macronutrient. Protein, fat, and sugar are your macronutrients. They're the vast amount. They're the largest components of food. Then there are the micronutrients. Remember, we're all about making distinctions here. You know, we talk all the time about distinctions between cells and tissue, distinctions between microinflammation and macroinflammation, distinctions between the cell disease and tissue and organ disease. Another distinction is macronutrition versus micronutrition. Micronutrition has no calories. Micronutrition is your vitamins, minerals, and your amino acids. Your micronutrients are not used for fuel like the macronutrients. They're used to facilitate chemistry. And you guys, someday I'll do just a show on the amazing, mind-blowing, jaw-dropping nature of biochemistry. But suffice it to say, micronutrients are the magic that makes it happen. The vitamins, the minerals, and the fatty acids and the amino acids, these micronutrients are what make the magic of biochemistry happen. And you can't make them. They come from food. And as food is processed, they disappear, which means as food is processed and as we eat those foods, we cannot help but become deficient. So what I told this gal is micronutrients are what the cell eats. Just like we eat the macronutrients to get energy, the cell eats the micronutrients to facilitate its energy. Micronutrients are cell food. And just like you need food to do your function, a cell needs food to do its. And if you're on a prescription drug, it needs more food because it's doing more work. A prescription drug makes the body work harder, especially the detox part of it. And nutrition facilitates all of that. Nutrition is the micronutrients. I'm not talking the macronutrients, which are used for energy and for construction, perhaps, as raw material for construction. I'm talking micronutrients. The vitamins, the minerals, the fatty acids, and the amino acids are what a cell eats. And without them, the cell starves. And just like a human being starves without macronutrition, a cell starves without micronutrition. And that means everything, including your drugs, everything in the body, including how the body responds to drugs, will work better when a cell has its Mighty 90 essential nutrients. The Mighty 90 essential nutrients are the essential nutrients that your body cannot make that a cell needs to eat. That's as simple as I can get it, and tell it to your doctor. I don't know, in light of this, how could there possibly be a situation where nutrients are not important? Vital and unbelievably helpful. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Tom in California, what's cooking? Welcome to the bright side.
Hi, Pharmacist Ben. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, thanks. My question is about vitamin A. I've been taking vitamin A for a little while now. I was taking the natural form from fish liver oil, about 25,000 IUs about every other day. And now I'm taking the retinol form of it, about 5,000 IUs a day. My problem is that every time I start taking it, like for a week or so, my skin on my face gets dry. And I was just wondering if you knew why that was. And
I would not attribute. I would look for something else, Tom. That doesn't sound like a vitamin A issue. And from a biochemistry point of view, I can't see how that would occur. That vitamin A will never. I've never heard of that happening. So I would think that there's something else percolating along. What else is going on in your health? Unless the dryness is just superficial and mild, if it's significant enough for you to have a, complain about it, or it bothers you in some way, then that tells me something else is percolating in the body. That doesn't just happen on its own. Usually, when there's a dryness problem, it's a fat production problem. There's fats in the skin that keep the skin moist. There's other factors, but this is the most important factor. There's fats in the skin that keep the skin moist under conditions of either malabsorption, where you're not absorbing your fats, or deficiencies where you're not getting fats in your diet. That's when you're going to get dry. And by fats, I mean vitamin A, vitamin D, and essential fatty acids primarily. So what I would ask, to get to the bottom of this, what I'd ask you is, what else is going on with your health? Is there anything else going on that you know of?
Well,
are you on medication?
Not that I know of.
How old are you, Tom?
38.
Are you on any medication?
Taking Zoloft.
Okay, well, there you go. That would definitely do it. But Zoloft is there's something else. If you're on Zoloft and it's for strictly emotional kinds of things, like strictly psychological kinds of things, maybe you could separate out the Zoloft from your biochemistry. But a lot of times, the emotional and psychological things, symptomology that Zoloft works with, are a sign of hypoglycemia or perhaps some kind of food allergen. You got to put a picture together of a bunch of health challenges that you have. Zoloft is on the right track, but because it's more of a mental health issue, you got to come up with some other dot. You got to collect the dots before you can connect the dots, and you have to connect the dots to get a picture of what's happening in your body. And I'm not just talking to Tom here. I'm talking to everybody who's dealing with a health challenge. You want to start to put together all the symptoms so you can form a picture of what's happening in the body. Right now we got a couple of pictures, a couple of points, Tom, and that doesn't quite give us a picture yet. You need 3 points at least to get a good picture. We got I take it as an anti-anxiety or antidepressant. That's why you're using the Zoloft, probably, right?
Yeah.
For one of those, and then the dry skin. So what else? Give me one more point, and we'll get a picture here. Anything else you could think of? You may want to think about it, if you don't know off the top of your head. I would suspect. I would look at the digestive system. Malabsorption is where I would be focusing on, especially around fats. Try this: get a bunch of fat, coconut oil, or maybe Udo's blend, and do like a lot of it, and see what happens. If you notice you feel queasy or sick, it's possible, doesn't necessarily mean 100%, but it's possible you're dealing with fat malabsorption. Start using digestive enzymes, ultimate enzymes, the biolumin nightly essence, and fermented foods, anything that supports intestinal health, and then continue on with your fatty vitamins and essential fatty acids. By the way, omega-3 fats might be important for you, as we've been talking, especially if you're dealing with fat malabsorption. Do you have anything else, Tom? I'll hold you back.
Well, the only other thing is that whenever I stop taking it, it goes away.
The A.
The vitamin A. So
hang on, then don't go away. Let's work with that, okay? Don't go away.
Okay.
All right, if you're on hold, we'll get to you when we come back from our break. We'll finish up with Tom as well. Hey, Tom. Thomas.
Hi.
In California.
Hey.
Tom, terrific. Let me see here. Tom?
Yeah, I bet.
Hey, buddy. So here's the deal. If you're doing a controlled experiment where you've controlled every single variable but the vitamin A, and you're noticing this issue where you get drier when you take it and less dry when you stop, then I would tell you, well, obviously it's a controlled experiment, so you've factored out everything, and it's got to be the vitamin A. Problem is, there's two problems. Number one, you can't really do a controlled experiment unless you're very, very controlled about it, you're very serious about it, and you're watching all the variables. And secondly, there's no real mechanism for this to be occurring. Now, I may be missing something, but I can't see how that could possibly occur. So I'm not going to deny your experience. But what I would suggest you do, and the reason I'm suggesting this is because if you think it's the vitamin A, then you may be missing something. So what I suggest you do is try to control all the variables as best as possible. Maybe switch the brands of vitamin A. That's another thing to try. And see if you can play around with this X factor, the vitamin A, controlling all the variables. Don't change the way you eat. Don't change the way you supplement. Don't change anything. The only thing you're going to work with is the vitamin A. That's what I mean when I say do a controlled experiment and start to play with it. Do a different brand, perhaps. Take it with with food or without food. Vary that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Play around with some of the variables with the vitamin A and see if you notice a difference. If you do notice a difference, then you're right. It was the vitamin A. If you don't notice a difference, chances are it's something else. Okay?
Okay.
Be a scientist about it. That's basically what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
The scientific method. All right, Tom, I got to move. Thanks so much for your call, man. I hope I helped. All right, take care. Have a good day. All right, Dr. Cathy Markle, PhD, psychologist, I think, right, Doc? Psychologist, Yale, and highly regarded, Dr. Cathy Markle, and fan of the truth, I might add.
Oh, thank you, Ben. I am definitely a fan of the truth, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. I did have a first question about listening to this global, it's the truth about cancer, a global quest.
Ty Bollinger?
Yes, and one of the tapes of one of the doctors he interviewed said that to spread the word about glutamine, that it fuels cancer cells, and it's worse than sugar.
I've heard that.
We'll use it for digestive issues, but to please not use it if you're worried about fueling cancer cells because they say it's worse than sugar. That scared me, and I just wanted to.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I would like to have a talk with that person on the air, and we'll go into it. Glutamine can be used as sugar. That's why it's so important, because it doesn't have the same effects as sugar, but some cells, particularly digestive cells, can use it as sugar. Cancer cells possibly can use it as a fuel too. However, to say that you don't want to take glutamine to fuel cancer completely misunderstands how cancer works. It's a doctor, with all due respect, Cathy, I don't mean to offend doctors here, it's a doctor way of looking at cancer. Cancer is an environmental issue, and by environment I mean the body's environment. You don't have to worry necessarily about fueling cancer because cancer is going to eat everything there is. You're not going to starve cancer by not eating glutamine, and you're not going to accelerate it by using it as a supplement. Now, glutamine is a fundamental component of the glutathione molecule. So in addition to, yes, cancer cells can use glutamine, that's true, it's also a key component of glutathione, which is your body's fundamental anti-cancer biochemical. Do you want to IV glutamine right in your blood in high concentrations? Probably not. Okay, I'm not saying that, but to say you want to avoid it is just completely, that's got to be a doctor or somebody who's in the doctor world saying that. Because
so taking that as a supplement for digestive issues.
Yes, if it's helping them with their digestive issues, in my opinion, they need to keep taking it, in my opinion. Okay. And for a doctor to say not to, if it's helping somebody with their digestion, is just, well, they just don't understand is what is my take on it. Now, by the way, Dr. Markle, and for listeners, there's no definitive proof that I'm right or that he's right. I'm just giving you common sense biochemistry, and he's giving you his view. All right, you're going to have to take your own. You're going to have to, run it through your own BS or truth detector and see if it makes sense to you. I say my position is that glutamine is a conditionally essential nutrient that is arguably one of the most important immune boosting nutritional supplements you could take. It's also vitally important for intestinal health, and so I say take it. And I also say cancer cells are going to grow whether there's glutamine there or not. Okay, that's not going to have a major impact on glutamine. This guy is saying it does have a major impact on glutamine, and you don't want to take the glutamine, even though it's used to make glutathione, body's primary cancer fighter, even though it's critically important for the health of the digestive system and the immune system in general. I think it's a no-brainer, but, everybody's going to have to make their own decision on that. I completely disagree with what he said.
Okay, well, thank you for your take on that. I wanted to get that from you.
Okay.
And then the second piece was just, my gosh, I do use all of your Truth products, and I get stopped by people that don't even know me and say, wow, you have beautiful skin. So I know I just want to compliment your products that are wonderful. And then I wanted to share that last night I had in my I have thousands of skincare products, and yours by far just
Thank you, Dr. Markle.
Blow the rooftop off. But I was using this Pro Peel pad that I had, and I decided to use it before I would put on some products of yours, and I burned my skin. And I wanted to say that between overnight putting on the Omega Healing Cream and then this morning putting on more, that most of the rash is gone. But I did really use that lactic acid Pro Peel and did some damage. But your Truth products, and specifically the Omega-6, is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I've been working with that particular product for a long time, so I know exactly what you're saying. Sometimes I feel like, because Dr. Markle, you have your foot in both worlds, kind of. You're a physician or a doctor, and you're a woman, so you're using products. And sometimes I feel like everybody's saying these things, and so I come along and say, no, you got to use my stuff. And there's this jadedness. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I heard it all before. That's what the last person told me. How do you get through that?
My skin is completely transformed, and I will stop using these acid peels that are just...
Well, once in a while, or maybe use the retinol. The retinol will give you the same effect as an acid peel.
Retinol's amazing. That transforms my skin. That retinol is clearly incredible. And the serum in the morning also changes my makeup. It just makes your skin glow.
That's awesome. I appreciate you saying that. Thanks so much, Dr. Markle. Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Take care. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Dr. Sparkle Markle from Yale University. All right. 844-236-6010 is our number. We don't have any calls here, so I got about a minute and a half, and I got all of these emails that I want to get to. So I'm just going to pick one here. Glenn writes or Priscilla writes, what can I take for my many problems I have with lupus? My doctor is not helping with my symptoms. No kidding, because there's nothing doctors can do for an autoimmune disease except suppress your immune system. How this ever got to be a strategy, a medical strategy, is beyond me, with the exception of emergencies, and occasionally suppressing the immune system from an emergency standpoint can be helpful. But if you're on prednisone long-term, or a steroid, an anti-inflammatory steroid drug, or a biologic, they call them now, these powerful anti-inflammatory or anti-immune drugs, you are playing with fire. Humira, Enbrel, prednisone, any of these drugs that suppress the body's defenses, you're playing with fire. If you need it for an emergency, to quickly relieve symptomology because you're absolutely miserable, that's one thing. But if you're on any of these drugs, your number one objection or object should be to wean yourself off, and the best way to do it is by focusing on gut health. Lupus and autoimmune diseases. Take this to the bank, folks. Take this to the bank. Lupus, autoimmune diseases, MS, myasthenia gravis, whatever, if it is an autoimmune etiology, particularly if it occurs as you reach middle age, which is frequently what happens, 100% guarantee something is getting into your blood through a leaky gut. Now, I said yesterday, sometimes in the world of health and nutrition, people who are in the know via research and seeing patients and who are savvy enough to understand patterns notice things 30 years before you read about it in the New York Times or in the mainstream press. Well, I'm telling you this, folks. If you have an autoimmune disease, don't wait for 2 decades or 3 decades for it to make the New York Times. It's a digestive issue. And this is just common biochemical sense. Something is getting into your blood. It's setting off the immune system. The immune system is cross-reacting with your organs and glands and structures. In the case of lupus, it's the connective tissue, and that is absolutely miserable. And one of the ways that we, almost a surefire way to have an early demise. Priscilla, focus on gut health. Use the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Use the Ultimate Enzymes. Apple cider vinegar after meals. Do a food diary and an elimination diet, bone broth, the Swear V products, or any of the Jordan Rubin products, and then get on the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening, friends. We got more good health information coming at you tomorrow on the bright side. Have yourselves a beautiful, wonderful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Hello, my name is Don Wiskin from HeartDrop.com, the distributors of Extendivite, the #1 heart drop that people have been raving about for years. Every February, for the last 16 years, HeartDrop.com has had a Heart Month sale to help you stay heart healthy. For only $115 plus shipping and handling, you can get a 4-month supply of Extendivite in either liquid or capsule form to help you get started on your path to better health. Now is the time to stock up. Order what you need. Stay heart healthy all year with the #1 heart drop, Extendivite. To order your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Today, more than ever, it's imperative that you protect your digital privacy. EDEC Digital Forensics, Signal Blocking, Anti-Radiation, Anti-Surveillance Faraday bags shield the contents of your phones, tablets, and key fobs from 4G, Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth, NFC, and more. Find us at edecdf.com/radio or call us now at 805-222-4584. That's 805-222-4584. Radio listeners get 20% off your order.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
As your body ages, there's a 10% decline in your ability to repair each passing decade after the age 28. By age 40, your ability to repair from demanding manual labor, exercise, or a stressful desk job has declined by 12%. By using One World Whey, you supercharge your body's ability to repair and eliminate inflammation. Our unique frequency-encoded whey protein, coupled with our high-quality whey, improves your cell's ability to make protein, which is to say, repair itself.
My name is Jonathan Wright, and I'm 40 years old. I recently went from a desk job to a manual labor job. Normally, I'm worn out. With energy-enhanced One World Whey, I now recover so quickly that I can perform very hard work all day long. I use energy-enhanced One World Whey for breakfast and lunch, and I experience less hunger throughout the day. I have a 30% increase in energy, and I just feel better. I plan to make energy-enhanced One World Whey a permanent part of my lifestyle.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's PROPURUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.